They shone on stage and on screen, but when the enemy attacked, these stars put on Red Army uniforms and went to the front. In June 1941, the country was plunged into war, and along with millions of ordinary people, artists, singers, and poets also marched to the front. Faces loved across the Soviet Union suddenly traded applause for the sound of artillery. Lidiya Ruslanova, the voice of the front. She sang under open skies, in rain and snow, amid the thunder of guns. Soldiers said her songs worked like medicine, restoring faith in life itself. In May 1945, she would sing on the steps of the Reichstag, and that moment would become a symbol of victory. Leonid Utyosov and his jazz orchestra also found themselves at the front. Music, born in the carefree pre-war years, now healed wounded spirits. Where shells had exploded yesterday, his merry fellows rang out, and soldiers once more found the strength to keep fighting. Arkady Raikin, satirist and master of parody. His miniature sketches were as needed as weapons. When soldiers heard his jokes, they could forget death for a moment. Laughter became a shield, and Raikin, a fighter on an invisible front line. Sergey Bondarchuk, the future people's artist and director of War and Peace, began as a common soldier. He knew the cold of trenches, the hunger, the fear. Later, his films about war would feel so authentic because in every frame lay his own truth. Bernes gave the army Dark Night. The song became a prayer of the front. It was sung in dugouts, trenches, and on the march. For some, it was a song of hope. For others, a cry of longing for home. Imagine it, idols of millions in greatcoats with rifles under artillery fire. No spotlights, no ovations, only the fate of the country at stake. Not only singers and actors went to war. Nikolai Krychkov, Mikhail Zharov, Efim Kopelyan, Vasily Lanovoy. They hauled ammunition crates, dug trenches, and charged in battle. Many were wounded. Some never returned. Their post-war roles were authentic because they played what they had truly lived. Poets also stood in the ranks. Konstantin Simonov wrote verses right in the trenches. His Wait for Me became a hymn of hope for millions of women. Alexander Tvardovsky created Vasily Turkin, a book soldiers read between battles. Poetry became a weapon, words that held people together. Even those who did not fight with rifles still served with art. Concert brigades, thousands of artists traveled the front, hospitals, and garrisons. During the war, they gave more than 1.5 million performances. Sometimes a show lasted only 10 minutes until the enemy began firing again. But those 10 minutes returned life to the soldiers. The war took away many from art. Dozens of gifted musicians, actors, and poets never came home. Those who survived came back changed. Their faces carried the shadow of the front. Their voices sounded deeper. Their art became truth, a truth no script could imitate. Stars at war. Their glory was not in posters, but in courage and in victory. And today, listening to their songs and watching their films, we remember. They knew war not by script, but by their own experience. Imagine it, idols of millions, in greatcoats, with rifles, under artillery fire. No spotlights, no ovations, only the fate of the country at stake.